Abort mission. He is not big enough to ride.
Tess Holliday is a morbidly obese food addict who tries to promote an absurd idea that you can be morbidly obese and healthy at the same time.
What about your own health test? Do you ever, because we had a report very recently in this country saying it's a myth that you can be very overweight, obese, and be healthy. So do you worry about your weight? You've got young children. Do you worry about your health?
Look, I would not go through having kids and what it does to your body to not be around for them. You know what I mean? I'm very active. I always tell people, like, I challenge anyone to keep up with a day in my life. I know that I'm healthy.
To say you are healthy and obese is stating the impossible.
Say, you know what, guys, like, I am fat, but I also am a redhead, and I'm a mom, and I'm a pizza enthusiast, you know, like, it's just like how I choose to describe myself, and there's no shame in it for me. And so by reclaiming the word, it's basically telling other people, like, you can be who you want to be, and there's no shame in it. If that's how you're happy, then do you.
Why?
If we should encourage people who are addicted to food and obese to stay that way, should we do the same to underweight people suffering from anorexia? If they feel like they are healthy, then they must be. Obviously, both sides of the weight spectrum are unhealthy. The problem here is that these body positivity people are hypocrites. It's not about body positivity. It's about them trying to normalize obesity so they can feel better because they lack the willpower to change their habits.
Oh, like you say, I'm also a redhead. Nobody judges you for being a redhead, but people do judge you based on body size.
That is just a stupid point. You cannot control the color of your hair that you are born with, but Tess was not born obese. Her weight is a reflection of her bad habits and poor decision making, and it should not be glorified. That is the biggest problem. Her weight is being glorified, even though it is unhealthy.
There was a guy on Twitter, Barry, who was like, I'm paying all this money for your health insurance for future costs. And I was like, boo, I'm fine. Like, I pay my own health insurance. I pay taxes. Like, you don't need to worry about me.
Barry actually brought up an excellent point. A lot of tax money goes into taking care of obese people. Tess is so fragile and insecure that just reading the word healthy makes her deeply upset. Here is a small video that I found on the internet that will show you how insane Tess is. As you can see, all this woman did was tell Tess that she was looking healthier, and Tess somehow got offended over that because I guess healthy is negative now. It was then pointed out that Tess did not react this way when somebody else called her healthier. Tess then somehow brought race into it. I don't know how she managed to do that, but she did.
Writing quote, to everyone that keeps saying you're looking healthy lately or you are losing weight, keep it up. Stop. Don't comment on my weight or perceived health. Keep it to yourself. Thanks.
That's just ridiculous. How can you be offended over the word healthy unless you know deep down that you are very unhealthy?
When he says, you're the biggest I've been with. Wish I could say the same. I wish I could say the same.
That was Tess body shaming. Talk about body positivity. Normally, I would not have any problem with a joke like that. I think that you should be able to joke about whatever you want. But the problem here is that if a joke were to be made about a fat person, Tess Holliday would lose her mind. And once again, it is not about body positivity with her. It is about obesity acceptance.
You know, it's none of, what business is it of mine how you choose or you choose to live your life? If it's not hurting me, I think most of us should just keep our mouths shut.
How is your weight and health none of our business when being fat is what you have centered your entire image around? Being fat is also the reason you have found success in your career. Here is a great example of what I mean. Tess has no idea how to walk down a walkway. Look at these women. See their posture? The way they walk? They are clearly trained. Now here comes Tess wobbling down. I'm sure there are a lot of things you have noticed that would clearly make her unsuitable to be up there. Her arms, everything. But what's most noticeable to me is she literally has to waddle. And she can't be elegant, so she has to... Yeah, great finisher. This was Chromat's New York Fashion Week, and Tess Holliday was only invited because she's obese. They wanted those points for being inclusive. If she wasn't only invited for being obese, then wouldn't she at least know how to walk properly? Obesity causes millions of deaths every year. This is not uncommon knowledge. How we reach obesity is not a mystery either. Tess Holliday, however, seems to not understand this.
I am fat because I was starving myself, and that's really hard for people to understand.
This was Tess Holliday claiming to be anorexic. But she is not. She states what she eats and shows what she eats. This is just not the diet of an anorexic person.
Wow, that's delicious.
Absolutely, it is.
Wow.
Fresh out the air fryer.
Right?
Do you know what a calorie is? She is not anorexic. She's just a fat attention whore.
And then at nighttime, you know, usually when my kids were in bed and I could settle, I would eat one meal and then I would go to bed.
So, Tess Holliday is pretty much saying that she was anorexic and starving herself because she would wait until the end of the day to eat. That is so absurd. That is not starving yourself, and that is not anorexia.
You know, I'll maybe have like coffee, or maybe I'll have, you know, a handful of whatever's around me. And then at nighttime, I'll have my meal or snacks or whatever.
So she actually does eat throughout the day. Okay, Tess. Okay, yeah. She really should have done some research as to what anorexia actually is before she went on this.
You look at fat bodies and you just all of a sudden say, well, you're healthy and all you do is sit around and eat. But for the world to say that all I'm doing is sitting around and eat when I'm starving.
Tess seems to confuse being hungry with starving herself. Tess, you can go a few hours without eating.
I started really examining how I was feeding my body, or the lack thereof, and I met who I now work with, my dietitian, Anna Sweeney.
So, who is this woman who diagnosed Tess? So she's an Instagram dietitian who doesn't believe in diets. Okay, Tess.
She said, I can't diagnose you properly, but if I could, I would diagnose you as anorexia nervosa.
So I know that a lot of this is old news, but I just really don't like this woman. And there is just so much about her. I have so many points that I didn't bring up or talk about because I didn't want to spend so much time on this random video I decided to make. What have we learned about Tess Holliday? Well, she's pretentious. She's obese and fit. I don't think I even talked about her being fit. That's a whole new video I could make. She's also anorexic while being healthy, while being obese. She's just a massive attention whore. That's all there is to it.